Before I get into our announcement, I just want to set one thing straight here. Now, this is we've gone over this a couple times in the past several months, but this is always good primer because this will help us understand the reasons why we want to get to someplace. Now, the way I usually describe it is at Microsoft, there are 1,000 programs, right, that are out there at Microsoft, and it is so frustrating to try to figure out how do I figure out anything with Microsoft? How do I get rebates, incentives? What is the purpose of this? So I just want to just clarify a few things really quickly. This will be relevant to what we're talking about. So what are the partner levels at Microsoft? And, since silver and gold are officially over, and many of you, your silver or gold expiration has happened already, and I'm sure there's a small portion of you that are expiring here in the next few months, right? So it's really important to understand what's replaced that and why. Okay, that's the really important thing. Okay, so you start off with membership. This is the lowest of all levels. We've all been here. We've all said, oh, hey, we want to be a Microsoft partner. We go to the Microsoft or partner.microsoft.com. We fill out a couple things. We put our banking information, and then a lot of times people are like, okay, what's next? Because Microsoft is so complicated, they don't really tell you what's next. But anyways, that's just the very beginning. But you get access to marketing and some training things. Good. Okay, sounds great. Now, the next level is called partner success, and there's three things here. I think one is you've gotten in, you got your MPN membership, you have bought in one of the small packages, like there's a partner success package, there's a Microsoft Action Pack. So you're getting some free IURs, 5, 10, small, not a whole lot that's available for you, but you have that, right? And then number two, you've aligned with a distributor. Okay. Which is Arrow, our most favored nation status, right? If you haven't working with Arrow and you're working with any one of the other ones, you got to work with Arrow. Arrow's the best. Arrow Spear, Arrow everything. We love them. They really do a fantastic job. But you've aligned with a distributor, and now you're getting a small margin on your deals, right? You're getting 15, 16, 20, not 20%, 18% on the margin. It's a discount off of MSRP. Great. But that's all you get. Now, also in the eyes of Microsoft, you're not really a real partner. I mean, you are, but you're not really following all the things to be noticed by Microsoft. Okay. Now, what's taken over for gold or silver is the solution partner designations, which is very important. Okay. And there's six different areas that you need to focus on. You have to get 70 points in order to get that, and that's a combination of net new ads, right? Certifications, skilling certifications, enablements, which is you're turning on the things, and then overall year-over-year growth. Okay. Now, the benefit of being the solution partner designation is now that turns on the back-end incentives, which are super awesome, right? And you can get anywhere between 4 to 20% on the back-end incentives, which then starts to become significant. Now, be careful, though. It isn't like telecom where you get, let's say, 18% and you're getting it for 3 years. Microsoft loves to move the goalpost, but depending on what they want you to sell, right? So you could be getting 20 this year, and next year could be 4. So you've got to be a little careful with that. But also today, what's really good about the solution partner designations is now it's actually opening up some things, like for example, in the Azure one, in infrastructure, if you have that, they opened up a couple new, very new options, which are really, really fantastic. For solution like assessments, right? Or it's called Azure AMM, right? Azure Modernize and Migrate. And if you do a migration, you can get $5,000 or $10,000 from Microsoft. Bing, bang, boom. What's lovely about it is you don't have to fill out 27 pages in triplicate to get the actual money. If you qualify and the customer qualifies, boom, you get it. But now, really, the solution partner designation, you get the back-end incentives, but you also get internal use rights, right? Which is great, 100 licenses of E3 or E5, depending if you're in security or in Azure and all these different areas, but you get internal use rights, right? And then you start with access to deploying what is called a marketplace offer. Now, let's not kid yourself. The marketplace offer is very important for one particular reason, but if you think you're going to get customers by putting something in the marketplace, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, forget about it, okay? You're not going to get any customers from that. Microsoft is, they don't just, no, it's it's a misnomer, but there's a purpose for that. Now that what then concludes to advanced specialization. Now, advanced specialization is the top tier. Now, any partner we work with or we're shaping, we're always pushing towards the top tier. We always want to make sure that people are going there because this is what opens up all of the benefits, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in benefits. And I'll start with the fact that now you get access to deployment funds, you get access to assessments. So if you want to go do a security assessment, 5 grand. You want to get, you got a, $50,000 ACR deal, that spans over the year, boom, 10 to 15%. Okay, in the back end compensation, but also bounties. They're going to give you a bounty. Like, for example, on a new VDI deal, $100,000 ACR, you get $9,000 just to save net new logo. Boom, thank you. And then 30% on top of that. 30% on top of that, right? For the ACR. So if you think about it, the difference between being a solution partner and a advanced specialized partner on a $100,000 deal is going to be between $21,000 in incentives as a solution partner, but as an advanced specialized partner, you can get $81,000 in the first year. So I usually tell partners there's 81,000 reasons why you want to get to that advanced specialization. Last thing I want to explain to you as well, and this is really important. Now, many of you may want to work with Microsoft sellers. You might want to work with a Microsoft seller. Well, if you don't have the advanced specialization, you do not meet the requirements, which are rules of engagement, right? So if you want to work in that space, we've got to get to advanced specialization, which is the top tier, and there's a lot of ways of doing that. Okay, so I want to just throw this out there to you. If you have some questions about this, and we have some other examples of how you make money with this, but it really does. Now, the other thing too is, when you get to solution partner designation, you're getting back-end incentives, right? Now, but let me just talk about those back-end incentives really quickly. And I think maybe Andres and Josh may even talk about this, but I just want to say this. Microsoft looks at incentives in 6-month increments. So they'll accrue for 6 months, all your back-end incentives. And if you're over $10,000, Microsoft says we're going to split it 60-40. We're going to cut you a check for 60% of that. And then 40% is going to go into what's called MDF or co-op bucket. That's what's really, really important, okay, to understand. Now, you have to also spend it or you lose it, okay? That's the other thing. We're going to lose it if we don't spend it correctly, right, or spend it right away. And at the end of this month, we have until June to spend whatever co-op dollars that you might have, and you got to be really careful about this, okay? So we got to go ahead and do that, okay?